My name is Barbara Lange. I'm the founder and CEO of Kaiba 121, a consultancy that helps media tech on their path to sustainability. And MTSS is a project that my co-founder, Lisa Collins, and I launched about 3 years ago already. Lisa will introduce herself later, but she's an awesome partner to have, and I'm really having a lot of fun together with her. So a little bit about what is the MTSS. So the MTSS is the Media Tech Sustainability Series. It's a labor of love for Lisa and me. We organized it really to start a conference, which we did 2 years ago. So this year will be our third annual conference. And it's really all you need to know about sustainability in the media tech sector. So we feel very strongly that it's important that this information is accessible to the industry. So we've collected a number of resources. We have a directory of people working in ESG. We have a directory of products that companies have uploaded that talk about their sustainability, everything around ESG, including this exhibitor badge, which we work with shows like NAB and IBC and others to advance even your marketing presence at a show like this. So hopefully you'll see a few of those badges around. We do this as a partnership between the two of us, and we're eager to gather support from the industry, both in terms of content, people, and also, of course, sponsorship to help us keep this program alive. Just an announcement that we have a webinar coming up next, actually a couple of weeks from now, and talking about carbon counting and actually the tools around that. And then looking forward to our third annual summit. Can't believe that's already here, on June 17th. And if you're interested in speaking, please let us know. We have, the program is still in development. So with that, thank you very much for joining us. And I'm so delighted to invite Lisa up on stage and, sorry, went too fast. And our panelists so that we can have the discussion, and then we'll do the honoree recognition. So, Lisa.
Thank you, Barbara. I'd love for my panel to join me. I feel lonely up here, so do come on. Will they come? We've gathered the finest panels, I think, today to talk about sustainability. They are the best of the best because they are also our award winners. And we're going to hear from each of them. Some of them are here to represent their company, and some of them are here because they are leaders in sustainability. So we're going to have a great conversation and have some fun. So I am Lisa Collins, and I'm Managing Director of Dovetail Creative. And as Barbara said, having fun with Barbara as co-founder of MTSS. Let's do some introductions of our panel. And rather than just saying who you are, I'm really keen for you briefly to introduce yourselves and talk us through what brought you to the world of sustainability. Why are you here? Why are you passionate about sustainability? So, Serge, we'll come over to you on that question with that.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for inviting me, and very happy to be here in front of you. So I'm the CEO of VVS. I joined the company in 2019, just before COVID. And the reason that we've been really looking very closely to ESG and we're really implementing that framework is because I would say on a personal level, on a professional level, the fact that we know how important we are in this industry, EVS, we like to say that every day billions of people watch live events thanks to our technology being used around the world. So when you know that, you start thinking of your responsibility as a company, as an individual. And for us, it was obvious that ESG was the right framework to apply and help us indeed to make sure that we give back to the community. We are a leader in our industry, so we know that we have also to give the right example, and we thought that this is absolutely what we need to do. Working on a company or working with a company like EVS, it's not only about the short term, it's about the long term, it's about sustainability, thinking of how can the company further grow and make sure that the community, customers, employees benefit of that. And for us, ESG was the perfect framework for applying that.
Excellent. Lisa?
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Spencer. I'm Vice President of Marketing and Communications at Irdetto. And, Irdetto is a global company. We operate, many places in the world. We have customers, partners, employees, and I really think that it's, up to us to make sure that we, leave those communities in a better place than in which we found them. And it's something that, we really believe in at Irdetto from the top down. Me personally, I also think that it's important not only on the sustainability part in terms of environment, but for me, I really think it's important to build a sustainable and happy workforce as well. So I also put a lot of effort into that part of the ESG as well.
Yeah, super important. A lot of people think when we talk sustainability, it's all about the environment, but the people factor is also there as well.
Absolutely.
Andrew.
Hi, I'm Andrew O'Dell. I'm SVP for Product and Customer Experience at Harmonic. And actually, it's quite interesting. There's a nice segue. So I grew up by the coast, by the sea. So I've had a passion about our impact to our oceans. But then since joining Harmonic, the people side of it, the social engagement was actually what drives me more from a social responsibility perspective. So actually, I agree with you that we can put in policies and we can put in governance, but that's actually what drives all this is people. And for me, when I joined Harmonic, to see that passion and commitment, not just from the company perspective, and Harmonic is extremely committed in our ESG programs, but actually the people driving those. So yeah, I really agree from a social perspective.
Great. And I follow your Instagram page, your company Instagram page. It's great.
I was going to say, I hope that's on my personal one.
No, the company one. Stacey.
I'm Stacey Moorcroft. I'm the Director of Business Operations for our Sports and Live Events team at Ross Video. So I get a lot of firsthand experience with the venue side of things, similar to everybody else up here too. I'm going to say the exact same things. People, environment, like all of these things that drive us. It's the reason we're all up here, right? Like we feel very passionate about the way that we treat our employees, that we treat each other, that we treat our clients in the industry, and that we're leaving the world a better place than how we found it. I will say for me, like I've grown up in a generation where we've been told climate change is a big deal, and it's so difficult to think about the size of that and how you can impact it as an individual. So I think I feel really amazing that I'm at Ross and in a position where I can help make decisions in my everyday business life. I'm sure the rest of you feel the same way, that will make an impact on that and can create change, even if it's small. It's very liberating and freeing to feel that you can make a difference.
Excellent. And Zena, last but not least.
Hello. My name is Zena Harris, and I am the founder and president of Green Spark Group, which is a sustainability consulting company that services the entire value chain of entertainment. So I think one of your original question was, how did you come to this? And I actually came to the entertainment industry because of my work in graduate school. And I was an eager grad student, and I was researching what companies in the entertainment space were doing for sustainability. And actually, in reports that had come out at the time, the entertainment industry actually lagged other industries. And I felt compelled to do something about that, raise the bar there, because entertainment influences culture. And if we can't figure out sustainability within entertainment, what are we going to do? So that's where I came to it. And I started a company to, really use as a vehicle to interact with as many other companies as possible and people on set and in and around the physical production process, to figure this out. And that's what I've been doing for 10 plus years. And then last year I decided to be a podcast co-host and tell more stories about sustainability. So I'm really trying to bring voices forth. And I think that's what drives a lot of the work that we do.
Right. So as you can see, we have a passionate panel here, but obviously when we look at sustainability, having results and really making a difference is important. So I'm keen maybe to come to Andrew and ask for some real world examples from Harmonic. What policies and procedures have you put in place that have had an impact?
It's a great question. And actually, I'm fortunate to work for a company that really does invest, and anything from our product perspective, our product and how we integrate that from an ESG perspective. But the one thing I suppose, just to bring it back to a very, very simple example, and I think that's key, because I think having simplicity and showing that we can all just act is one thing our R&D team invested on. So as I'm sure most people in this room, in this industry, are reliance on hardware, our data centers, our labs and infrastructure. We have a lot of that obviously internally, and our R&D team invested tirelessly to say, okay, how can we reduce our energy consumption just within Harmonic? And a little team came together, put together some really simple scripts, and that basically, we ran that through our labs, and we got a 30% reduction just in power consumption, it's such a simple initiative. And I think for me, it's simple but effective, and I think that's the most important thing for me when it comes from an ESG perspective, that it doesn't have to be long-term visions, which is important. You also want to see what short-term gains you can make, however small they may be. So for me, just to bring that into perspective is key for me.
Yeah, great. And Serge, have you got any examples there?
Yes. Well, we know how important carbon footprint is, and when we did our analysis on how do we create carbon footprint and what is the impact on our world, we see that energy consumption is critical, and we also clearly saw that the most carbon footprint or energy consumption comes from our customers. So that's why we started a few years ago to have programs in our R&D departments to really focus also on reducing power consumption in our new products, but also in our existing products. So that's really external. It's more than 2/3 of our carbon footprint. So we know that there is the biggest gain to behold. We also, when we were looking to the carbon footprint, we also saw that our supply chains were quite important in that. So we also asked our supply chains, our different providers to really understand what we're doing, and also engage or make clear commitments that they would also apply certain changes. And we expect from them, in fact, to have at least a silver medal being given by a European organization. So we really put clear targets there. And the last that I would like to bring on the table is the fact that on the circular economy, we make sure that our equipment has been shipped years ago, that we take that back. So when customers migrate to new technology, we take back their old technology, and we make sure it's being used again one way or another. So those are some of the clear examples of that.
Yeah, it's a great case study, the circular economy side, definitely. Lisa, how about Irdetto?
Yeah, sure. So, Irdetto, we're a cybersecurity software company. So our biggest challenge is the scope 3 emissions. So those emissions that are outside of our direct control. So one thing that we focused on a lot is travel, and our travel policy, and how we travel, and how we can travel a little bit more sustainable. As I said, we have customers and partners, all over the world. So just hopping on Zoom calls for the rest of our lives is not realistic. And, that's kind of the balance of how far do you go in your policies to also make sure you have operational and business continuity. But we've used tooling that's available to help us be smarter. So for example, our travel booking tool, Agencia, is something that we use that highlights those flights that have emission saving flights to them. So that is a very visual opportunity for employees to see, okay, this flight is better. Let me pick that one. Also, being based in Europe, we have the luxury of a fantastic rail system. So, instead of flying to Paris or the UK, I can just hop on a train. That's much better. And also we incent our employees if they can take public transportation, if they can bike to work, we give them an extra incentive on their monthly pay to be more sustainable. So these are real things that we're trying to not only push from a corporate level, but also having that ESG mindset ingrained in all of our employees to kind of think about if there's easier, better, smarter ways to engage with customers.
And remind us what the travel product was called, or the platform?
Agencia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
It's very good.
Worth checking out. And from a Ross perspective, Stacey?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing from Ross is officially, as of this year, our manufacturing facility is officially net zero carbon emissions. So it's been, it's been a big push. The Iroquois facility has been, I'm going to say part of the family, but the same Ross facility for years. And they've expanded it a ton. They've reinvested. They use all local resources, as much sustainable environmental like fabrication and everything that they can build in. They have brand new LED panels, solar panels on the top that power the majority of the generator to the point where I believe they're pushing it back into the power grid. So, it's super exciting. I think, like everybody else, we're also looking from a product perspective. How can we, create product that doesn't take as much power, that doesn't weigh as much? So when it's in a mobile truck or something, they're using less gas. I think there's so many places that we're all kind of chipping along. So as amazing as it is that our facility is net zero carbon, I think it's also very important that we're all still moving the margins where we can. I'll also say too, like, I think part of sustainability from an employee perspective to me is very much mental health. At Ross, we've done a bunch of mental health first aid training courses. We offer that to a lot of our employees, to go through and learn, how can you be there for other employees? How can you be there for people who work for you? How can you be there in your community for others? And I think, like you said before, as we talk about environments, it's also important to talk about how we're treating our people who work for us, and making sure that they are also given tools to check in on themselves and come to work more fully.
Yeah, interesting. And what you said earlier, sustainability is a journey. We've got to keep going. There isn't an end mark. No. Seen any examples from you?
Sure. Well, first of all, I just love hearing what all of these larger companies are doing. It's super exciting. I know, right? Like, isn't that so inspiring? Just for context, we are a 9-person service company for the industry. So we're small and mighty. We've been around for just over 10 years and, we provide, sustainability strategy services and greenhouse gas emission accounting services and working on working on productions to make them more sustainable, these kinds of activities, right? And so, for years, we were focused on what our clients were doing, providing the best service for them. And of course we do that, but we were focused on decarbonizing and whatnot for them. And a couple of years ago, we realized, wait a second, we need to look internally on, and walk the talk ourselves and really calculate our own carbon footprint and have a sustainability strategy and all this stuff for ourselves. So last year it was over a year-long process, but we became B Corp certified last year. And one of I think, the few in the entertainment space that is a B Corp. So we're pretty proud of that. But what that allowed us to do was really take a look, go line by line through the B Corp certification and look at what we were doing. And we thought we were doing pretty well. We did actually score pretty high in the B Corp, certification. But we realized that, we as a sustainability company, we weren't doing everything that we could do. There was more that we could do. And so that was a real, eye-opener for us and realization. There were policies we developed, et cetera. And so I think that in and of itself allowed us to become a better company, not only for the people who, work for our company, but also for our clients. We now have a much better picture, about how we want to show up and operate. And I think that translates into the work that we do for others.
Yeah, right. Moving on, I want to talk about challenges. And as Barbara and I both know, the word sustainability, it comes low down on the agenda, right? And when we look at reports, it suggests that sustainability isn't up there on the corporate agenda. So I'm keen to hear from each of you how you overcome those challenges internally with your team and how you bring others on with you. As Sergio mentioned, about the supply chain and making sure everybody's thinking about sustainability. How do you get over those hurdles and make it top of the agenda? And I'll come to you, Sergio, first.
Okay, thank you for that. Remember, we are a worldwide company, or active worldwide, but we are a Belgian company. So headquarters in Belgium, so European company. So it's clear that Europe has been pushing on this topic, of course, for quite some years. And when I started and we were looking at ESG, we rapidly understood the power of the framework and to use that in the company. So how to get that in the company. In the beginning, clearly some people thought that this was an obligation of Europe and that we had to do that. But then indeed to say, no, we are going to use that as an opportunity, use that to put our whole strategy, our sustainability, our future vision of the company into that framework, that took a few months. But rapidly, we were able to create a working group. We are now 720 colleagues around the world, and I think we have in that working group about 40 colleagues, which are just from different teams. So it was important that you give that mission to the team, and from there it really starts to become something that everybody understands is just part of our DNA. So the biggest thing was indeed to move away from an obligation to something that is really in our day-to-day conviction, part of our objectives, part of our KPIs. And I think that now if you talk with EVS colleagues all around the world, even here in the US, you definitely feel that we have a focus on that and that we think it's very good for the sustainability and the future of the company and the communities we live in, of course.
How about you, Nadezza?
Yeah, I think at Irdeta we started our ESG journey, probably about 8 years ago, in terms of actually formalizing it and putting rigor around it. And I think the initial objections were around things like, this is going to be quotas now. So no one's ever going to get promoted anymore. This is, an us versus them type of thing. So that was a tough one to socialize. And I think that we've done a pretty good job of talking about the why it's important. That diversity of thought is what's going to future proof us. It's what brings that innovation. People from different backgrounds, different experiences have different ways of solving problems. And as a leader in innovation, that's what we need to stay ahead of the game. So I think, we had to repeat the message and then repeat it and repeat it and repeat it all the time to get people to understand that this is something that's better for everybody, not just a top-down policy. I'm very fortunate that Irdeta, we very truly believe from top down in ESG. Every ops review every month, we look at what we're doing in terms of our metrics. We have SBTI targets, the UN Global Compact, we follow those as well. So it's not just a nice to have. We actually have targets that we've set for ourselves that we measure ourselves against, and everybody's on board now. So, are we going to have challenges in the future? Maybe, but even we're seeing, our customers that are coming to us, they're asking what our ESG policies are. We have one particular customer that's looking at contracts, looking at coding and saying you can't use these words in your contracts. You have to go change them. So we have an entire program right now that's going through all of our coding, taking things out like master slave and those types of words that, are offensive and that shouldn't be there in the first place. So, yeah, I think we're doing quite well, and any challenges I think are easily overcome because everybody at Irdeta really believes in it and sees the benefit of it.
Yeah, and as you said, the more the customers need to see it in RFPs, the more.
Yeah, actually, I agree with Lisa. It's really from us, it's a people-led initiative. We're fortunate in Harmonic to have extremely passionate employees who are raising the bar to us internally at a leadership level, at a board level, and our shareholders. So that passion drives and fuels creativity. That then drives our corporate social responsibilities, and from a top-down approach. What does that mean? And we try to bring everyone along in the journey. So whether that's environmental awareness training, which we insist upon as a new starter, the continuous education, moving to our fleet to electric vehicles, but it always driven by the passion and the commitment from the team. And when you have that from a bottoms up perspective, it's actually quite powerful, because then when you can have it from a top down, it really drives that corporate responsibility. So yeah, for me, working for Harmonic, it's an absolute pleasure to actually work for a company who really does want to invest in it, and it's not just about a one-time thing. It's a continuous education, whether that's across the environmental or the social engagement as well. So that's how I see it.
Stacey?
Yeah, I think very similar to everybody else. At Ross, we have a combination of top-down leadership that's very invested in this, that feels very responsible for this, as well as bottom-up, like recycling programs, different ideas in offices. How can we do things better? What, again, are small changes that we can make regardless of where we are in a company, that can move this forward and help everybody feel more involved and engaged. I think in terms of like, DE&I, something I'm also very passionate about. We're seeing a big shift in our industry. There's a lot more women. There's more women on this panel than men. Sorry, guys.
Which is fantastic, by the way.
Not sorry. Sorry.
I'm Canadian. I have to say sorry for everything. But there's other steps that we need to take. We're all white. Though there are other spaces that we still need to grow. And I think we can all sit up here and agree. Diversity of thought, I love diversity of opinion. People from other areas of the world, we're headquartered in Canada, but having different leaders from different spaces who come with new ideas, who come from Europe and say, this is what we're doing here on environment, we should think about it. And I think those different international focuses are what allow us to better serve customers internationally, but also let us grow and like do things differently and be passionate about it. And yeah, it's that level of involvement and engagement in the company that makes me really happy to work at Ross, and is something that I really value. To the external point, I've been able to go to, IBC, couple SVG summits, things like that, talking about sustainability. I am really impressed by like the way that everyone in the European market is very focused on it and moving forward together. I think there's a lot of broadcasters in the US and Canada and other spaces in the world as well who are very focused on how can we make these changes. But I think I sell into sports and sports venues, and sometimes venues can take a little bit longer to make decisions that are top priority being ESG. So I think that there is still space that we can grow and lead and work with our customers to say, maybe you care about ESG on an individual level, but you're not really seeing the business impact of that yet. And I think if we can do a better job of driving that business as well as ESG tied together conversation, I think that's kind of the next big step in our industry where we're all going to be able to make a bigger difference. And like you said, how do we influence everybody else in this industry? I think that's how we do it.
Right. And sing us some notes from you on that one.
Sure. Just, I'm the last of a great lineup here. I think for us at GreenSpark Group, look, I'm really, really proud of my team. Everybody who works at our company wholeheartedly believes in the vision of our company, and that is to change the climate of entertainment. You can ask any of them. They know it. They work it. They do it every single day. They care about what they're doing. They work with honesty, decency, transparency, and they do this, to better serve our clients. I mean, that is bar none how we work at our company. And I think it's really, really important to know and feel and value where you work and what you're doing. And, that's how we choose to show up every day. And it's how we choose to, do the work that we do. And look, it takes a lot of courage sometimes, to stand up to, large companies or make recommendations to large companies and, all the way down, from executives down to, the crew on the floor. But, we do it. We show up, we make a difference. And I'm really proud of that work. Just also to that point, we cannot do it all alone. We do highly value collaboration, and we've shown again and again throughout the projects that we do, bringing multi-stakeholders together to try to advance sustainability in a local jurisdiction or within a company, that it takes collaboration, and more than just collaboration, like lip service collaboration, like, oh, we had, several companies in a meeting. No, that's not real collaboration. Like, everybody needs to participate and contribute. And sometimes, that dialogue isn't, comfortable for everyone, and we have to work and push through that discomfort. And I think, it's highly valuable, and I think it gets us to a better end outcome. And, it's all part of the work, the hard work that we have to do. and we get to do with our clients. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Absolutely. And on the collaboration points, and sharing a best practice, which is what Barbara and I built MTSS for, as we wrap up, so we can talk about the awards, one final tip to the audience from each of you, a short tip that everybody can take away with them. And Zena, I'll start with you this time.
Great. Okay. I think all of this, I mean, clearly you've heard fantastic examples up here. I think all of this is entirely possible for you at your company. I mean, look, we have the whole supply chain here at this conference, and every single company here can be part of the solution. And these are great examples. So, you know, take a little nugget back with you. It's all entirely possible, and we see it all the time.
Yep. Stacey?
Ross, like our manufacturing headquarters is in a town called Iroquois, super small Canadian border town. Iroquois is a Haudenosaunee Indigenous nation in Canada, for those of you who don't know. And the culture in that nation is if you are a leader making decisions, your responsibility is to think 7 generations out. I think that's something that a lot more of us can start focusing on. As you are making big decisions and even small decisions, think about what that impact is going to be 7 generations out. And if you start challenging yourself that way, you can really start thinking through, am I going to be leaving something better behind than when I found it?
Yeah, I love that. That actually sent a shiver down my spine. That one is Stacey. Andrew.
For me, it's quite straightforward, and actually the word is used a few times already, but it's just really the power of collaboration. When you find people who are passionate and committed, it goes a very long way, whether that's from your policy perspective, whether that's how you build your product, whether that's how you implement that, how you attack maybe scope 3. All these things, all from my perspective, are really built from a collaboration perspective. There's one thing that I would take away, is just collaboration, whether that's internally, externally, with friends, with peers, collaboration. Absolutely with competitors. We're all friendly, right?
Absolutely. Please, there.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a huge topic, right? And I think that sometimes if you're looking to, you know, where do I start, it can be quite unwieldy. But, you know, I'm a big fan of you can't manage what you don't measure. So I think it's really important to set a target. What does success look like? Whether it's reducing carbon footprints, net zero, reducing your electricity by 30%, whatever it is, make sure that you set a target and then you socialize that. And then you can work backwards to reduce that and to achieve that, right? So it's getting smart light bulbs so that when you walk out of a room, the lights go off. It's, you know, don't use paper cups anymore. Make sure everybody has sustainable water bottles, things like that. So, you know, it's really important to set what success looks like so you don't get sidetracked as well. And then you can architect all of your decisions and all your policies back from there. Don't boil the ocean.
And Serge, final word to you.
Yeah, well, one tip, I would say, every decision that you take, or that you're considering, think of, what impact it has, what sustainability, how can it help sustainability. In the beginning, it will feel a bit awkward, but at some point in time, you get used to that, and then you really start thinking in that direction. So think about sustainability in everything you do, and it really comes natural after some time.
Yeah, thanks to all of you. And my tip would be, take a look at these guys on their website. They're doing really great things, great role models. Please thank our panel. And now, should we give out some awards, Barbara?
That was great. I hope you all don't go too far because you're all coming back on stage at some point. So in the spirit of sustainability, we are honoring people. We don't have an award. We didn't think that was the right message to send. So there's no physical award, but everybody will be getting a digital award, and that we hope that you can socialize in your networks and in your organizations, and really promote the fact that you're a MTSS 2025 award winner. Well, then let's carry on, and we'll catch up with the slides. So we have 3 categories of honorees. We're going to start with the persons to watch, and today we will be recognizing 4, and I will read a short blurb around each honoree. And as I said, if you're here to represent or pick up an honor, please come to the front, and eventually we'll collect everyone and take a group photograph. So, and this is in no order other than my brain. So our first honoree, persons to watch, Carly Wallace, Senior Sustainability Manager for the BBC News out of the UK. I don't know if, I don't believe Carly is here. No, we know she's not here. So Carly co-created the BBC News Green Action Plan and aligns global news operations with science-based targets. Her production background informs strategic change, and her work with the BAFTA Sustainability News Consortium advances sector-wide impact. Carly is a rising ESG leader, driving collaboration and innovation. So congratulations to Carly. Next up, we have Siri Brentson, a sustainability specialist from Irdeto, and I'm going to guess Lisa might be representing that. Siri is the first sustainability specialist transforming ESG from conservation to core strategy. She led emissions tracking, SBTI, goal setting, and annual reporting while galvanizing 1,000+ employees through global engagement programs. From intern to rising leader, Siri's impact bridges data-driven strategy with cultural change, advancing sustainability across the cybersecurity and media sectors. So congratulations to Siri. And Stacy. Stacy, you just heard from Stacy. Stacy is the Director of Business Operations for Global Sports and Live Events from Ross. Stacy champions ESG at Ross Video, advancing sustainability inspired by her father's leadership in building her, that's a typo, I think, a company's leadership in building the net zero factory. She advocates for mental health, sharing her burnout recovery to inspire transparency. A vocal supporter of diversity, Stacy amplifies underrepresented voices through panels, podcasts, and her leadership in global sports broadcasting. Congratulations. And we have Moritz Ladvik, who I know is also not here, but is being represented by Tim. Yes, Lisa, please. That's okay. That's okay. Tim is representing Moritz, and Moritz has led Sportscast Green Production project since 2023, driving sustainability in Bundesliga broadcast through data-driven carbon tracking and supplier engagement. A certified green consultant, he helped certify the 2024 German Cup finals with the Green Motion label and promotes industry-wide collaboration through speaking engagements and cross-league sustainability initiatives. So congratulations to Moritz, who's there. Congratulations. And now we're going to move on. Please stay to our leaders. We have several leaders here today. First up is Amanda Sapp. She's Vice President of Media for Bread of Life and GM of the amazing 102.5 FM. And I love this example because Amanda is part of the S of ESG. She is redefining media as a tool for social impact. She launched Tech Savvy Seniors and a youth mentorship program, champions DEI through inclusive hiring and advocacy-driven content, and builds sustainable, ethical media aligned with community transformation. Congratulations, Amanda. Next up, another Ross, Jeff Popst, who I don't know is here. I don't believe he's here. But Jeff is COO of Ross and has championed sustainability across operations, from building a low-carbon factory with solar power and EV charging to eliminate lead solder and driving energy efficiency design. He pioneered product green sheets, advanced DEI, and leads industry-wide ESG efforts through his work on NEBA and the DPP collaboration. So we congratulate Jeff in his absence. Next up, we have Louis Smithingham of Media Monks. He champions sustainable innovation in media production. He has driven adoption of cloud-based and remote workflows, significantly reducing the carbon footprint of global campaigns. By replacing traditional travel-heavy shoots with virtual production, Louis leads the charge in scalable, lower impact content creation, redefining efficiency and sustainability in digital storytelling. Congratulations, Louis. And we have another representative from Irdetto. They are really cleaning house. Lisa, you have to wear 3 hats today. And you're representing Doug Lothar, who is CEO of Irdetto, who leads with vision, as we heard, embedding ESG into strategy and innovation. He launched sustainability at Irdetto, aligned with the SBTI, and introduced green tech like Cloaked CA. Under his leadership, Irdetto advanced DEI, renewable energy adoption, and ethical governance, earning top EcoVadis scores and DPP recognition for measurable industry-leading impact. Congratulations to Doug. You already heard from her, but she's back on stage, Zena Harris. Zena is the founder and president of Green Spark Group, and is a transformative force in sustainable entertainment. She's reduced environmental impact across film, television, and live events, and pioneered industry training, co-founding the Sustainable Production Forum, and achieved B Corp certification, driving global change through education, advocacy, and leadership in environmental and social responsibility. Congratulations. Oh, and I forgot to click through. And there they are. Next up is Johan Bolin. I don't know if he's here yet. Oh, you're standing in for, and he is great. I know he had a conflict. He's speaking about sustainability on another panel. That's okay. And Johan is Chief Research and Innovation Officer at Atelier Creative Technologies. He's currently participating in a sustainability panel with IBM, so he's not able to be with us just at this moment. Maybe he'll dash in at the end. He leads sustainability, driving emissions reductions through cloud-native Atelier Live platform. His innovations enabled SVT, which is the Swedish broadcaster, low-impact productions, including Rally Sweden 2025 and the Great Moose Migration. And he is the winner of the 2024 Broadcast Media and Entertainment Media Award. Johan is recognized for using media technology to accelerate sustainability and content creation. So thanks, Andy, for representing Johan. Next up, we have another representative. Mike Matera's traveling in Australia, I understand. So our good friend Ben is going to be representing on his behalf. Mike leads Akamai's ESG efforts, driving its net zero and 100% renewable energy goals. He pioneered virtual power purchase agreements, improved energy efficiency across Akamai's infrastructure, and advances global sustainability through the greening of streaming. A visionary leader, Mike blends innovation, collaboration, and measurable impact to shape a sustainable digital future. So we congratulate Mike on his recognition. And lastly, but not leastly, also unable to be here because he told us he's already achieved his carbon credits for the year. So Francois Polarchek, who is the sustainability director at Exado, Francois launched and leads the Exado ESG strategy, embedding sustainability across the business. He established science-based targets, annual reports, and green office policies, earning an EcoVadis gold medal. His work includes energy efficiency and streaming, diversity assessments, and co-leading the EcoFlow IBC Accelerator program, positioning Exado as a true sustainability innovator. So we congratulate Francois. I'm not sure if anybody from Exado is here. And you can represent him as, oh, you are. Okay, great. Great. Super. And now we're going to move on to the company. So this category was based on the quality of and content of the ESG reports. I was very impressed with the extensive work that so many are doing. All of our honorees are doing some work of emissions measurement, and in some cases quite extensively, and they're sharing their work with external agencies for validation. Your work is inspirational to others in the industry, and we really want to encourage more of that. So I want to start with Meta Broadcast. I am starting with them because they prove that size has nothing to do with pushing the sustainability agenda. Meta Broadcast is an emerging ESG leader in the media tech sector, and is taking early but impactful steps towards sustainability. The company has begun integrating environmental considerations into product development and internal operations, focusing on energy efficient software architecture and cloud optimization. Socially, Meta Broadcast fosters an inclusive culture, emphasizing mental health, flexible working, and equitable hiring practices. Governance efforts include transparency in decision-making and a growing commitment to ethical business practices. A small, agile team, Meta Broadcast is well-positioned to innovate responsibly, setting the foundation for a purpose-driven approach to growth and ESG leadership in the evolving media tech landscape. So, congratulations. Next up, do you need... Can I just got four more. Sorry. I think I'm losing people. I don't know what's happening. Sorry. We're going to carry on. Irdetto. So Irdetto is, has made ESG a core pillar of its corporate strategy through its, sustainability at Irdetto program. The company is committed to science-based targets and implemented full scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions tracking. It drives environmental innovation through products that, through cloaked AD and reducing hardware waste, and improves EV charging efficiency. Socially, Irdetto champions diversity and inclusion, employing professionals from over 70 nationalities and investing in workforce, well-being, and development. With strong governance, transparent reporting, and top EcoVadis scores, Irdetto leads by example in building a responsible, future-ready media and cybersecurity ecosystem. So, congratulations to Irdetto. And the Green Spark Group is a pioneering consultancy dedicated to advancing sustainability in the entertainment industry through hands-on collaboration with film, television, and live events. The company helps reduce carbon footprints, minimize waste, and transition to renewable energy. Green Spark Group created the Sustainable Production Forum and co-developed the Sustainable Production for Environmental Certification, which we actually didn't talk about, providing industry-wide education and standards. As a certified B Corp, 1% for the planet member, the organization embeds ESG in its operations, emphasizing transparency, diversity, and continuous learning. Green Spark Group is shaping more sustainable and equitable future for media production. So congratulations. Another company is Exato. Exato has embedded sustainability into its core strategy, earning recognition as a top 20% sustainable ICT company for EcoVadis. Through its Sustainable at Exato program, the company has implemented science-based targets, annual sustainability reporting, and policies like Green Office and Sustainable IT. Exato actively promotes diversity, employee engagement, and circular practices in integrating ESG principles across its global operations. The company also empowers customers and partners to make more sustainable choices by increasing transparency and driving industry collaboration. Exato's commitment to measurable impact positions it as a leader in advancing environmental and social responsibility within the media tech sector. So congratulations to Exato. And we have EVS. EVS has made significant strides in embedding ESG principles across its operations and solutions. The company integrates sustainability into product design by improving energy efficiency and extending hardware life cycles. EVS has adopted circular economy practices, including take-back and refurbishment programs, while committing to reducing scopes 1, 2, and 3 emissions. Socially, EVS promotes diversity, equity, and inclusion, supports employee development, and fosters well-being through various internal programs. Strong governance practices guide ESG accountability with transparent reporting and cross-functional leadership engagement. Through innovation and action, EVS is aligning its business with long-term environmental responsibility and ethical people-focused growth. So congratulations to EVS. And 2 more we want to recognize. Utel from Finland. Let's hear it for Finland. It demonstrates strong ESG commitment through environmentally responsible operations, social equity, and sound governance. The company reduces its carbon footprint through renewable energy use, waste reduction, and remote work practices. Socially, UTEL promotes diversity, employee well-being, and strong data security standards. Governance is reinforced through transparent financial reporting, an independently led board, and ISO 9001 quality certification. With annual carbon tracking, sustainability reporting, and proactive well-being plan, UTEL exemplifies how a small and medium-sized enterprise in media tech can lead with integrity, efficiency, and purpose in building a more sustainable and inclusive future. And congratulations to UTEL. And last but not least, we have our friends at Harmonic. Harmonic has demonstrated strong ESG leadership by integrating sustainability into its technology roadmap and corporate strategy. Environmentally, the company has transitioned from hardware-centric to software-based and cloud-native solutions, significantly lowering energy consumption and carbon footprint across video delivery workflows. Harmonic actively tracks and reports scopes 1, 2, and 3 emissions, aligning with global climate goals. On the social front, Harmonic fosters an inclusive workforce, invests in employee well-being, and promotes STEM education in underserved communities. Governance efforts include robust compliance, transparent ESG disclosures, and executive oversight. Harmonic's holistic approach positions it as a responsible innovator in the media tech sector. So I'd like to have a round of applause for all of our honorees here today.